Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of BC Plus Live. I'm your host, Jeremiah, W9JAM, and today we are actually going to talk about the new radio from Anytone, the AT-D168UV, also referred to as the D168. This is a new radio that they are releasing, and I've got one of the sample units right here. The radio itself has a faster processor in it, as well as, give me 1 second here. Thought I had everything turned off here. The radio itself has a faster processor, so the boot time is actually decreased. So it actually works a lot faster now. And then the other thing is the battery itself no longer has your belt clip. I don't know if you can see this very well or not, but the metal casing inside the radio itself actually is where the battery clip connects now. So instead of having to worry about if your battery gets dislodged, the whole radio falling off your side and hitting the ground, it's on it itself. The other thing is the screen layout has changed. You'll notice that the screen is more vertical than horizontal. So not sure if you can see that real well with the boot logo booting up. But it is a more vertical layout than the horizontal screen, as well as it is a 5-watt radio. And let me pull up the screen here. And this radio is available for pre-order now on our website. Expected shipping date is the end of October for these radios. So let's see here. I know there's going to be some questions in YouTube here in just a second. Let me share my screen here.
And I believe Jeremiah, it had where you could. It had the same number of channels, zones, and talk groups, things like that, as the 878 UV2 Plus currently has as well, right?
Yes, it is 10,000 talk groups, 4,000 channels, and 500,000 digital contacts. So the full user ID database from radioid.net will actually fit in it. So that is one big thing that we wanted to make sure was a distinct capability of the radio. But here is actually the website that you can go to. It's BridgeCom Systems, and you can go to the search bar right here from the homepage and just type in D168, and it should pull you up right here to where you can pre-order. The radio is $199.99. You will get the new AT-D168UV course with the radio, and this will be a training course that I'm going to get some feedback from the customers on how we can take and make sure that the course itself is sufficient to provide all the materials that you guys need. Whether it's building a code plug from scratch, building onto an existing code plug. If you already have the 878, you can actually use that code plug with this radio. The import and export features will automatically sync everything. The only thing, as of right now, Anytone is aware of it and they are working on it, is your optional button settings don't transfer, but they are looking into the possibility of making a optional settings export. So you'll be able to take and do that as well. So there is that. Give me 1 second here. Now, the radio includes a USB-C port on the radio that is dual purpose. Not sure if you guys will be able to see this real well or not in the little bitty screen of me up in the corner. But you've got your standard K-style connector for your speaker mic, so you can still use your existing 878 accessories. But down here is the USB-C port, and it serves to charge the radio, as well as also taking and allowing you to program the radio with any USB-C data-capable cable. So if it's just a strict USB-C power cable, it won't work. But if it's a data cable, like the kind you sync your phone with to your computer, it will work. Now, as far as some of the benefits, one is the American-based real customer service. We are based in the US, and in most cases, you will get me to help you with any issues that you have. We also have some other technicians that are here in the US as well. They also have the UHF, VHF dual band on this radio with analog and DMR capability. So you can have one radio to do both your DMR and your analog. So you don't have to worry about having separate radios for that. Again, the 500,000 contact list capacity with the current size is 271,667 as of tonight. Not sure if you guys knew this or not, but they actually update that contact list twice a day. Once at 10 a.m. and once at 5 p.m., I believe it is. The 10,000 talk group list capacity, so you can have different talk groups set up in the radio, as well as the 4,000 channel capacity. And you can mix and match these channels any way that you want when you put them into a zone. The zone can hold 256 channels, and you can have 256 zones. So, a lot of flexibility with that. Now, as far as what's in the box, you're going to get the radio. It comes with 2 batteries, not just one, 2. So you get a 1800 milliamp hour and a 2500 milliamp hour battery, 2 antennas, a short stubby one like this, as well as a longer one that kind of resembles one of the ones that we sell on the store. So you've got that as well. The charging / programming cable. You also get, let me grab it here for you guys so you can see what the charger looks like. This is the charger cradle. You don't have to worry about a 12 volt barrel connector anymore. It's a USB-C connector, 5 volt. It goes right into this. So you can do that. And in here as well, radio just sits down in here to charge, or you can take and just plug in the cable to the side to charge it. So you've got the flexibility both ways, especially if you're in the car, because most people have a USB-C cable for either themselves or their friends in their car. The other thing is the power levels on this. It has 4 different power levels: 5 watt, 2.5 watt, 1 watt, and 0.2 watts for using it with a hotspot in the house. So you've got your low, your medium, your high, and your turbo. Now, this particular model that I'm showing here for pre-order is the amateur version. There will be a commercial version later on. In amateur, it is 144 to 148 megahertz on VHF and 420 megahertz to 450 megahertz on UHF. The auto sensing technology, it automatically senses digital or analog transmissions and connects accordingly. I've got to get clarification on that from Anytone on what they mean by connects accordingly on that. I'm thinking that there may be some new technology that I'm not aware of that they're referring to. Also, you still have your VFO, and it does have 2 VFOs, not just one. You can do 2 channels per frequency because of the Tier 2 DMR. For those of you who don't know, DMR operates on 12.5 kilohertz. So each one is a different time slot. You've got time slot 1, time slot 2, and that makes up the 25 kilohertz together. So you're taking 25 kilohertz and splitting it in half, and each one's a time slot. So let's see. The display is still a 1.77-inch TFT color LCD display. You can see the operating mode you're in. You can see the caller ID information as far as the person's name, their location, their call sign, and the signal strength coming in. Again, it does analog 12.5K and 25K bandwidth, as well as 12.5K for DMR. Now, something that is new is this will actually do up to 4 hours of analog voice recording. So you can record the channel and record your voice going through the radio. So you can record the whole conversation. So if you need to take notes or something like that, somebody's giving you directions to the ham fest, something like that, you can use that to, in case you're like me and your handwriting looks like the doctor writing a prescription out, you'll definitely want to have that capability as well. There is a new feature on this radio. It is QDC 1200, which is Anytone's version of the MDC 1200 standard. So you will be able to use that with existing MDC systems. The firmware is still going to be updatable by the user, so you'll still be able to update that through the CPS. You can do your CTCSS, DCS tones, DTMF tones, 2-tone and 5-tone, as well as the QDC. Now, it says vibration alerts. I haven't turned that on yet. I haven't tested that. But I will say that if Anytone is saying it's in there, it's going to be in there, which will be something interesting for, SMS messages. Because if somebody's sending you a message and you've got the radio on your hip, then, you're trying to be quiet while having a conversation, it's good instead of somebody just yelling for you over the radio, they can send you a direct message. Now, one antenna is the 5-inch and the other is the 15-inch antenna. And it is Windows software programming. There is no Mac option for Apple computers or Linux option at this time. Anytone has said that there won't be a Mac option, but I know there are some open source programs that are available that can do programming on Apple or Linux for the older 878 series radios. But it's not compatible with the current generation of 578, and unfortunately, that's about as much testing as I can do on that for myself. It is a smaller size and a little bit lighter weight, and it's got better frequency stability compared to the 868UV and the 878UV. So they have tightened up the frequency stability on it. And here is our chart. I'm not sure if you guys can see this okay, but here's the side-by-side comparison with the 878UV 2+. Let me see if I can pull this in here, make that a little bigger for you guys. So it doesn't have GPS, it doesn't have Bluetooth, and there's no third button on top. For those of you familiar with the 878, there is a PF3 button on top by the antenna that you can use as a multi-function button. We usually set it up for people as the quick disconnect for Brandmeister, so you're able to disconnect from talk groups right away. APRS analog transmit, yes, but only if you set your coordinates in the CPS software and it's on fixed beacon. It doesn't have a GPS receiver, so it can't automatically get that. You've got to turn that on in the software itself. There is no analog APRS receive on this unit, but there is digital APRS transmit and receive on this unit with fixed beacon turned on. There is no airband. You can still do your SMS APRS messages. There is the contact list. The memory capacity is still 2 gigs, it looks like. USB-C charging, instead of the new battery for the 878s, is built into the radio itself. Satellite, Anytone's listing yes. And digital and analog recording is 4 hours compared to just digital recording on the 878. There's enhanced noise reduction. QDC is new in this one. Part 90 certification for commercial use should be available by the middle of September. And again, VHF is 5 watts, 2.5 watts, 1 watt, and 0.2 watts. And then UHF is 4.5 watts, 2.5 watts, 1 watt, and 0.2 watts. So you only lose half a watt on UHF. And then you get 2 batteries instead of 1. Let's pull this over here. Here is what the screen is going to look like on the radio. I know that's a little blurry. Let me see if I can get that to pull up a little bit better. And this is a closer view. There is an outline on the PTT button around the edge. I don't know if you guys can see that real well on this one, but they've done a little bit of rework on the PTT button. My guess is to make it where it can't easily be pulled out by a kid who gets his hands on your radio. As well as something you may notice is the keyboard is very reminiscent of the keyboard on the BT01. It is almost the same size keyboard. So there is that. Let's see. And here's the dimensions of the radio. 2.11 inches in depth, 4.7 inches tall. Your channel and volume knob are right here. And as you can tell, your battery indicator is right here. And there's that dual VFO. And you'll notice that your antenna signal strength is right here now. This also doubles as your power output indicator. So not only will you have the low, high, medium, and turbo right here up in the top left corner, but it'll also show this in green right here up to the power level that you've selected. And then your PTT button, your top key, and your button key. Now, one thing that is neat on this radio is they took something from the BT01 that is the buttons have triple functionality. What I mean by that is you have a short press, a long 1 second press, and then a 2 second press that you can configure for the button. So 3 different button press that you can do to set up the radio. So let's say you want one of these buttons to be your power, and then long press is your scan, and then the other one is voltage, so you can see what your battery voltage is truly at. And then the bottom one you could set up for your quick disconnect from Brandmeister, sub-channel off, and I don't know, your VFO switch. And then it comes with the 2 batteries. So, and you can see where the metal chassis comes out over the top of the battery to actually connect your belt clip now. So that is something that is a new and improved design. For those of you who have gotten the 878 and been unfortunate enough to drop it from a great height, you may have noticed the spring in certain circumstances can pop out and cause the battery clip to have to be replaced. We do carry that part, so if that ever happens to you, just let us know, and we can get you a replacement part for that. And also, here is all the accessories that are going to be in the box. So starting from left to right, you've got the stubby antenna, the longer antenna, the small battery, the large battery, and then the charger cradle, and then the AC adapter that plugs into the wall, and then you plug your USB-C cable into here, and you can either plug the radio directly into it or plug that same cable into the charger cradle. Then the USB-C programming cable / charger cable, and then the belt clip. And I do have to say, I like this belt clip on here a lot more than the one that's on the 878. It seems like it's got a little bit more tension to me, but it doesn't fight you, if that makes sense, when you're trying to get it into your belt or onto your belt. So that is that. So let me stop my share and let me pull up my YouTube window and see what questions we have from YouTube on this. All right. Give me 1 second here. Not sure why it started doing that on me. There we go. Okay. So I am going to say this right now. This radio is not Part 95 compliant. It is not meant for MERS, GMRS, or FRS. I do need to say that right now because I know there's a lot of YouTube videos that tell people, hey, you can do this. But just to stay on the good side of the FCC and proper amateur radio practices, the radio does not do 20 kilohertz split for GMRS and FRS. So I just wanted to make sure that, everybody is aware of that. Again, what you do with the radio is up to you. It is your radio after you purchase it. Just, we encourage you to follow the rules. I'll put it that way. Okay. So one question that we've got is 878 export to 168. Yes. You can export the 878 code plug files. Take the list file and import it directly into the software. So there's that. Let's see. Bradley says that it is identical to another brand's radio. Not sure. I haven't seen that brand before, so I can't really comment on that one. Let's see here. All right. So, if you guys have some more questions in the YouTube chat, go ahead and feel free to ask them. And if you've got any questions in the BC Plus chat, go ahead and hit the reaction down there where raise your hand and we will get your questions. All right. Well, I'm not seeing anything so far on either. Does anybody have anything specific that they wanted to know about the radio itself? I know one thing I've been asked already is the battery life. With the battery, the 2500 milliamp hour battery is going to be less than the 3100 milliamp hour battery on the 878, but with the newer processor, it may draw less power. Is there a co-host tonight? Well, I thought that he was going to be here, but I'm guessing he didn't get... Hold it. There he is. Give me 1 second. I didn't even see that he had snuck in. Where did he go? He just disappeared off my screen. Okay. Andy's
So,
ninja skills are strong.
no, actually, and this is why I was texting you to let you know, I've been here since the beginning saying, hey, I'm here.
Sorry, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I got yelled at last time for the ringer going off.
Well, I heard it go off in the very beginning, so you heard one of them.
Yeah, that was from actually the pizza place sending me coupons.
Well, I've been waiting here, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to lurk in the background and just be here.
Yeah, Andy's been working on his ninja skills because if I would have seen it in the chat, I would have been like, oh, he's here. But it had you all the way on the other side of my screen where I had to scroll to find you.
Well, I don't know. I thought I made you mad or something.
No, didn't make me mad. Okay. Ralph has a question. Can you use the 878 charger with the 168? No. It is a completely different battery design, so the batteries are not compatible. The 168 comes with 2 batteries, and the USB-C charging is done through the radio itself. It does not have a USB-C charger port on the battery. The price is going to be $199.99. And give me just a second. I'm going to get that link and post it in the YouTube chat. So you guys can be able to pre-order that. We are expecting late October, but it may be sooner than that. It depends on how fast that Anytone can get them produced and boxed up and sent over to us. So there is the link in the chat for YouTube for people to pre-order. Dr. Greg says, are the batteries interchangeable? No, they are not. Let me grab my 878 and the battery off the back of the 168, and I will show you what the difference is between the batteries. So give me just a second. If you want to ask some questions, Andy, go for it. I can still hear you.
I'll ask you this. So the first question is going to be, I know that there's a lot of excitement for the USB-C 868 battery. Has there been any update with Anytone sending us some batteries?
Yes, they are going to be coming in the same shipment as the 168s.
Perfect. That's going to be fantastic because I know there's a lot of people that are super excited to have that USB-C charging capability with their lovely 878s.
Wes, in the YouTube chat, this radio is not replacing anything. It is actually its own addition to the Anytone line. It's not replacing the 878 or, anything like that. It's a new addition for people that are just getting started with DMR that don't need all the features with, Bluetooth and GPS and all the APRS features, that just want something to get them started that is better quality and better built. Oh, hold on one second. Andy accidentally muted himself, and for some reason it didn't give him co-host. Here, let's try that again. Okay.
All right, cool. Much better.
I hate when that happens. I had to reset all my Zoom stuff. Had to reinstall it earlier today. Gotta love technology when it runs amok.
Yeah, of course.
So here is the battery off of the 878. And something new. The battery latch component is actually on the bottom now. So you pull the tab down, it's spring loaded here, and then push the battery forward or down, and the battery slides right off. And you'll notice that this battery is very different compared to the 878 battery. This one is the 878 battery, also used on the 878 UV2 Plus, as well as the 868. This is the D168 battery. You'll notice it's got the cutout right here for the bracket for the belt clip that comes through on the metal frame now. So no more having your belt clip tied to your battery. So needing to have additional belt clips just to put on your battery and fighting to get the screws lined up. Because that was one of the biggest things I heard from people that just got their radio is, can you send me a replacement screw? Because I tried to put my battery belt clip on and the screw kind of catapulted itself off into the air vent. And
Oops.
I've actually done that, but I actually had a magnet to get the screw back out, so I was lucky. But this one is a different part number as well for the 878 battery. And we should be getting spares of these batteries in as well. Probably what we'll do is carry just the large capacity version. It's only a few ounces more than the 1800 milliamp hour battery. So I would think reasonably for people, if they want a spare battery, they're probably going to want the bigger battery anyway. So let me know what you think about us carrying just the bigger battery for a spare battery for the 168. I think it's a good idea, but I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on that. Okay, YouTube comment. Can I use the USB cable like a battery eliminator in the vehicle or desk I used while plugged in? As far as I know, no. Because it's meant to charge the battery, not supply power to the radio itself while it's being operated. So that I would say no at this time. But I will check with Anytone on that just to get confirmation, because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. So the size difference on the batteries, this one is the 20. Oh, okay. I am stand corrected. It's a 2600 milliamp, not 2500 milliamp hour. So 2600 milliamp hour battery.
Well, is that a production model or is that a pre-production?
This is a pre-production model, but I'm guessing it's going to be the same, but I will check with Anytone tonight.
Yep.
Because I can't see them taking away battery after they already have a good design for a battery, taking away 100 milliamp hours. One thing, and let me know if you guys think I should do this. One thing I was thinking of doing was actually turning the radio on and just leaving it with no signal coming into it and setting a timer and seeing how long it takes for the battery to die basically on standby. So I can get you guys a realistic standby time on the 2600 milliamp hours on the 168. So it's a 2600 milliamp hour battery and a 1800 milliamp hour battery for the 168. Let's see here. Jeff, that is a really good question. I don't know if it fast charges based on using the power delivery subsystem for USB-C or not.
Well, the great way to find out is when I get a demo model. I've got some testers that'll tell me if it's triggering PD or not. So that later can be found out.
Yep. Give me 1 second, guys. Andy, go ahead and ask questions or look for questions in the comments here. I am fixing that little typo in the website right now.
All right. So, yeah. So on the trying to make the brain function is just, man, it's hard tonight. But yeah, well, very good. Glad to finally be back in here. I was in right as recording in progress. But
yeah, again, I apologize for that. It didn't have you on my normal spot on my screen.
Okay.
So
well, and Zoom crashed twice for me right at the very beginning too. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity while I'm not hosting or co-hosting and restart the old PC, and then it was okay. So I don't know. Maybe Zoom is just having an off day.
Or maybe it was all that work that you were doing on the computer trying to get information together, and the computer's like, you've used up the memory allocated to this application, we're going to make you reboot.
Well, I
never know with Windows.
Well, I certainly hope not. I've got a whole 128 gigs of DDR5, so I'm not sitting anywhere close to it, or at least I certainly hope not. Although I do have an SDR application that I have used 45 gigabytes on once. But
all right.
I'm very excited to get my hands on this 168. I'm hoping maybe it'll be I think I'm probably gonna turn it into an everyday carry for me, on besides the 878, and just kind of give it a real world kind of test, and maybe possibly we can do a little bit of a review later after after both of us have been running it for a little bit. Real world use. I'm going to use it on both the amateur side and the commercial side, and going to see how it fares on both sides, and how it stands up to the rigors that I put radios
through. Yeah, I know.
I'm tough on
you
things.
and your collection.
You know I am. Yes, I'm very tough.
So, with that being said, it is time to go to the strictly BC Plus member portion.
That it is.
So, everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. We will have more information about this radio as we get closer to the official shipment coming in, and delivery of the radio, and estimated delivery times once the shipment comes in. So again, everybody, thank you for being here tonight on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And if you want to find out what's going on behind the scenes for just the BC Plus members, go to bridgecomsystems.com and go to BCU and click on BridgeCom Plus. And you can sign up for either the monthly, the annual, or the lifetime plan right there. And just as a reminder for our BC Plus members, you are getting a $20 discount for the entire month on your purchase of $200 or more. It's already set up in your account, so all you've got to do is go to the website and put your items in the cart. And once you cross that $200 threshold, you will see that $20 discount automatically come off. Jeff, do me a favor, send me an email at bcplus@bridgecomsystems.com, and I will send you the link. You should have gotten that in your email earlier, but go ahead and send me an email real quick. I've got my email open, and I'll get you the link sent right over. So, other than that, thank you everybody for being here on YouTube, and 73 to our YouTube subscribers, and hold on for our BC Plus members. All right, as Eric said, now the fun starts.